Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, Control, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you. Everything straight?
Yep, I got a new mic. That's why I was just trying to make sure it can be heard.
Yeah, we got you.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Hello. To my what?
Your left.
Okay.
Right there.
Today is Tuesday, May 27, 2025, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Streaming live on the Black Star Network. More updates on the Sean Diddy Combs trial. The government's lead prosecutor, Maurene Comey, now says the prosecution will rest its case after 5 weeks, 1 week earlier than expected. Legal analyst Candace Kelley will bring us the latest. CBS News anchor Scott Pelley went after the craziness happening in this country. He didn't call Donald Trump by name, but we know exactly who he was talking about. And ooh, MAGA, they really mad at Scott. In our marketplace segment, he went from the gridiron to the cast iron, bringing us sauces and seasonings. I'll talk to former NFL player who is now has, of course, a line of seasonings you can get at shopblackstarnetwork.com. We lost a titan when former Congressman Charlie Rangel passed away on yesterday at the age of 94. We'll talk about his legacy and what he meant to Harlem and this country. Plus, the Mobile 2.0 is here, and y'all get a first look. I have not posted on social media. The people who make this show possible, you get the first look. It's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, Rolling with Roland now. He's funky, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin.
The federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs moves into its third week. Joining us right now is legal analyst Candace Kelley. Candace, what happened today?
You have heard her name about a dozen times if you have been following this trial, like many people have. Capricorn Clark took the stand. This was a personal assistant who rose up the ranks to be a marketing executive, and there were so many things that she said. Let me start off first by saying she says that when she was on the first day of work with Sean Combs, that Sean Combs and an associate, a bodyguard, took her to the park. And they took her to the park because they said, listen, we know you have had some affiliations with Suge Knight. She did work for Death Row Records. She said that Sean told her that if anything happened to him, that she would have to die. That was on her day one. Also on the stand, she talked about being kidnapped by Sean Combs when he found out that Cassie was dating Kid Cudi. She said that Sean came over to her home knocking on her door with a gun. With that gun, he told her to come downstairs, get into his car, because they were going to go over Kid Cudi's house and he was going to kill Kid Cudi. Now, this obviously is corroborated, something that we've heard from Cassie, something that we've heard from Kid Cudi. But now we have someone who isn't a part of, any of the beatings or any of the sexual assault allegations. We have someone who was a personal assistant and said that she really wanted to work hard for Sean Combs and learn from him. She also said that she saw Sean Combs beating Cassie to a point where she was so concerned when he was kicking her and she got down on the ground and balled up in a fetal position, kicking her in her back, that she called her mother, Regina Ventura. She already took the stand. She said that she was told by Sean Combs, you can't call the police. She thought, well, I would call the next person that I thought would call the police if she knew her daughter was being beaten, did so, and said that her mother, Regina Ventura, said that she would take care of it. But she was very scared to call the police. Finally, and this was some really big news in the testimony, she expressed that at one point, 3 pieces of major jewelry went missing. And she told everybody that everybody needs to be on lockdown. She was concerned, said that she was trying to find out who stole this jewelry. She then said that shortly thereafter, she was taken to an empty building. This was a building that was already purchased. It was going to become the headquarters of Bad Boy and other Sean Combs enterprises. Went into that empty building with one other person, and then the doors were locked behind her. Said that she went up to the 6th floor, Roland, and was greeted by a man that she says was 5 times bigger than she was, sitting at a table, a long table with a lie detector test, smoking, chain smoking, drinking coffee, something like out of a movie. And she said that for the rest of that day, for the whole afternoon to the end of the workday, she went through various iterations of a lie detector test and was told, if this comes up inconclusive, you're going to find your body in the East River. So she went on to say, and I'll finish up with this, that not only did this happen one day, that it happened 4 more days, that a lie detector test was given to her. She was brought back, she said, to the same location 5 days in a row total. After this, in terms of going back and forth and working for Sean Combs, because again, she did want to work with him, said she wanted to learn from him. She was fired. Then she came back. She was fired and rehired about 3 times. Then she said that she was just blackballed and she couldn't get a job and hasn't worked since then. Finally, she said that wages were owed to her. This is very important for people who understand the RICO statute, that we are talking about unfair wages that were given to someone and unfair labor practices. That is part of the RICO charge. She said that she was owed $80,000. Human Resources agreed. When she went to Human Resources, it was written up that she was owed $80,000. And that particular contract, when Sean Combs was called into the office, he ripped up right in front of her face. So here we are. And tomorrow they're going to bring 4 more witnesses corroborating her testimony, Cassie's testimony. We're going to be hearing from people from the Los Angeles Fire Department, and Mia, one of Combs' former assistants and an alleged victim that we've heard about from opening statements. Rolling a lot of information today. A good day, I would say.
So when you talk about, again, how are they making this connection, this RICO connection? Explain that for the audience.
So listen, when you have a RICO charge, this means that, let's go back. In 1970, we know that the law was created. Many people know because of the mob. It was created in order to kind of circumvent this mob boss loophole where mob bosses were doing things and people were ordering things to do for people below them, but they weren't getting touched. So this loophole was closed with what we know as the RICO statute. We know that the RICO statute, there are 35 predicate or underlying claims that if you hit those claims, just 2 of them, over a period of 10 years, then you are in violation of the RICO statute. Some of those underlying claims that the prosecutors are trying to make and say are happening, had happened, especially with today's victim, was kidnapping, for example, arson, for example, obstruction of justice. So we have all of these things that we've been hearing about. You just need 2 of those claims over the period of last 10 years, and you have satisfied the RICO statute, and you are in violation and in control of a criminal enterprise, right? That being Sean Combs, and saying that he is the mob boss, if we can analogize, that he is responsible for all of these acts below him. He may not have thrown the Molotov cocktail, but they're saying he had the Molotov cocktail. Somebody do it for him. So that's where we are. And one thing to remember about RICO that's very important, and this is how you get people to testify on the stand, is that if you have a witness that, say, is a security guard, and within this enterprise that the prosecutors are alleging, there have been murders and arson, that security guard, that low-level security guard, is equally responsible for the murders and the arson. And this is how, through the statute, the feds get people to talk. And this is why they created this statute, to get that mob boss. They're really only worried about Sean Combs. The RICO statute was actually created for people like Sean Combs. Close that big mob boss loop in order to get to the head of all of the interactions.
So the idea, again, with RICO is that you're not having... Early on, we talked about how, well, the prosecutors keep talking about domestic violence. What they're trying to say is there were a litany of crimes that it's alleged that Combs either ordered or participated in. So therefore, by hitting with a RICO charge and by saying that he is the boss of all of this, so all of these crimes, domestic violence, the cover-up, the beating folks up, blowing the car up, on and on and on, these are all crimes all underneath one RICO charge.
They all do have a place within it, but in terms of the 35 underlying crimes that actually would satisfy RICO, yes, you are looking at The extortion, think about Regina Ventura's mother who took out the $20,000 loan. The jury might see that as extortion. Many people would. The kidnapping. Well, today's witness said that she was kidnapped by gunpoint. That was corroborated by Cassie. Then you have obstruction of justice. Sean Combs has said several times, according to witnesses, don't go to the police. If you get to the police, I will get to you and you won't be happy about it. Unfair labor practices. This woman said that she was owed $80,000. He ripped up the contract. The way that people can look at this is this. Even if Cassie was not involved in this and there was no such thing as a free golf, Sean Combs potentially still could be going to jail for racketeering charges.
Gotcha. All right, then. It's a whole lot to unpack. All right, so explain what this prosecutor announced when they're going to be done.
Listen, I think that they're really making their case, getting through a lot of witnesses quicker than they could. It's going to be done, I think, in about 3 weeks as opposed to 4 weeks. They've shaved a week off, is what I'm saying. And it's going to be done closer than we thought. So we just have a few more weeks of this testimony. Of course, we're going to hear from the defense and their witnesses. There won't be that many, but we will hear from some.
And again, obviously, from their perspective, it is the responsibility of the prosecutors to actually lay out the case to say these things were actually committed. All right, then. Candace, we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Folks, going to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
We're talking sinners, we're talking the Met Gala, we are talking about Black and Asian solidarity just in time for AAPI Heritage Month, and we're talking with our brilliant friend Malavika Cannon.
Nothing about these alliances is necessarily natural except for the fact that we all are people who are trying to stay safe.
Tune in only on The Other Side of Change on the Black Star Network.
You must be my new lieutenant governor.
I'm ready for duty. I think I can make a difference.
Just be a good girl.
I'm gonna need some dinner and a lot of wine. I really don't think that he thinks I'm qualified.
What you gonna do?
Pump my shoulders.
When you want something and you earn something, you fight for it.
Kids, do you know who this is? Mary J. Blige.
I didn't know we was about to be attacked by all of Nick Cannon's kids at once.
I'm Russell L. Honoré, Lieutenant General, United States Army, retired, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, we know we have a corrupt thug in the Oval Office. So check this here out, okay? Donald Trump's family announces this multi-billion-dollar project in Vietnam. Guess what? The folks in Vietnam put it in a document that they fast-tracked this deal in order to negotiate lower tariffs. Yeah, it's a $1.5 billion deal, and it's between the Trump organization and a Vietnamese developer. We're talking, folks, golf courses the size of 300-plus football fields, luxury hotels, shopping, all fast-tracked with the help of top Vietnamese officials who admitted the project got, quote, special attention because of its ties to the Trump family. Now, Vietnam wants to avoid U.S. tariffs, such as a 46% tax on its exports. Now, we all know what's going on here. Now, keep in mind, this, of course, is on top of Trump holding a dinner last week with his little crypto bros, all right, at Mar-a-Lago. The crazy thing is that the idiots who work for him, Carolyn Levitt, who is an absolute liar, goes, he's having the dinner on his private time. I'm sorry, so what we're saying now is that you can be corrupt on your private time and as opposed to at any time? Well, you do know what happened. They also released photos of the event. My goodness, the presidential seal was actually on the podium where this idiot spoke. Oh, they may say, well, I think you guys are making these things up. It could be that's AI. Nah, the only problem is there's video. There's actual video of this as well. Do you now see where we're going with this? Folks, I've said it before. You have someone who is sitting in the Oval Office raping and pillaging this country and this world. He has grown his net worth by 40%. 40% of his net worth is a result of what happened after Inauguration Day. And the right, they're just silent. They're saying nothing at all. My pal, Dr. Avis Jones-DeWeaver, author of How Exceptional Women Lead, Unlocking the Secrets to Creating Phenomenal Success in Career and Life, co-founder and editor-in-chief, Max Blacks Media, joining us from National Harbor, Maryland. Dr. Mustafa Santiago Ali, former senior advisor for environmental justice at the EPA out of D.C., Cameron Trimble, CEO, Hit Politics and Media, and former White House senior advisor, joining us from D.C. I mean, it really is hilarious and shameful to watch all of this, how it plays out, Mustafa, and to listen to these idiots in the White House, as well as right-wing media. Oh, just like, oh, this is no biggie. It's no biggie, no big deal. I mean, saying nothing. Yet they yelled and screamed over a Hunter Biden piece of art. It's unbelievable.
I mean, every administration, besides this one, has had to live up to a certain level of ethics, has had to be under the microscope, if you will, and rightly so, because we have laws in place. If you are a government official, saying certain things that you can't receive and certain types of actions that you should not do. But of course, all the rules have been thrown out the window when this administration came in. Now, the problem that exists is that, as they're moving forward on these types of things, putting the squeeze on Vietnam, so many people are wondering, why did he propose such a high tariff level on that country, considering, that we didn't have a huge amount of business with him? We had business with him, of course, but folks were always curious about why you would choose the numbers that you did to put that squeeze on folks. And now, of course, it's becoming apparent of what's going on. So we see these dynamics that are going on in relationship to, him garnering additional wealth and, of course, the unethical behavior that's going on. But what we often don't pay attention to is all the people who are getting hurt. When you look at the folks who are there in Vietnam who are going to be displaced, I mean, folks just don't pay as much attention to that, but they are going to be removed from their land, often traditional land for many of the people, the familial ties that exist in that space. And we've seen these types of dynamics play out with Black communities in this country when someone decides that they want a piece of land and that they're willing to do anything to be able to get it. So again, where's Congress in speaking out? Where is the Department of Justice in speaking out? Where are the courts in relationship if someone brings this forward? So it'll be interesting to see if anybody is willing to speak out.
Don't want to hear anything from any of these people ever again, Avis, about ethics, morals, values, principles, honor, decency. I don't want to hear anything. These people are grossly immoral. They are shameful. They are despicable. And they will allow this man to get away with anything. They don't care. And they frankly have no credibility with me at all.
Absolutely not, and they shouldn't. Look at what they do, not what they say. One thing I will say about Donald Trump is he is the projector in chief, okay? Whatever he accuses someone else of being, he in fact is that thing. So when he talked about the Biden crime family, let's just know that what he was foretelling, and not even foretelling, was actually has been happening in real time for God knows how many decades, is an actual Trump crime family. And so what we are seeing now is what one would expect a crime family to do. The reality here is that we don't have a democracy. Anyone who's operating on this illusion that we are still holding on and trying to save democracy, let me just tell you, that ship has sailed. This is exactly what autocrats do, right? They are lawless in their actions. They use their unfettered power to aggrandize their wealth. And so if you have any questions about what we're seeing here, we're seeing a dictatorship solidify in this nation. And we're seeing it because the Republican Party is willing to let him do whatever he chooses to do, because they want to see what benefits they can get from this situation. It is a horrible bastardization of our system of government, and it's exactly, unfortunately, what way too many people voted for.
Corruption is stunning, and here's what's even worse, Cameron. This thug, he has no problem with thieves and liars, okay? Over the weekend, he pardoned a former sheriff in Virginia who was selling badges so people could bypass TSA lines and speed. Oh, it now gets even more so. Just today, remember those people on the reality show, those wacky Chrisleys, Todd and Julie, who were sentenced for multiple charges: conspiracy to commit bank fraud, tax evasion, wire fraud. Well, guess what? According to prosecutors, they submitted false documents to secure more than $30 million in loans for their production company. Todd got hit with Todd got hit with 12 years in prison. Julie got hit with 7 years in prison. Well, guess what? Donald Trump says, hey, I'm gonna let y'all go home. You can brazenly commit crimes. You're good. Watch this crap.
That's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, but it's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow. Is that okay? We'll try getting it done tomorrow. So wonderful. Give them, I don't know them, but give them my regards and wish them a good life.
Mr. President.
Yes. How are you?
I just want to say thank you for bringing my parents back.
Yeah, well, they were given a pretty harsh treatment based on what I'm hearing. Pretty harsh treatment.
Yes, sir.
Was your brother fighting also?
They were given pretty harsh treatment. Cameron, they broke the law.
And it seems like Trump is breaking the law too. One thing I wanted to bring to your viewers and so forth, as a person who had to work in the White House, the amount of scrutiny and things that in the level of ethics that we were held to not be able to profit off of anything that we were able to do or sell secrets. This is a clear pay to play type of administration. I mean, he's putting it right in our face, and he's blatantly breaking the law. I would argue the emoluments clause, which is in the United States Constitution, that he's receiving gifts and enriching himself using his power to with the case with Vietnam, kind of using his power there to hopefully get up, fast track a multi-billion dollar complex, sending his son out there, and then all of a sudden, mysteriously, Vietnam may be exempt from the tariffs. Even when you show just the example you showed right there, everybody's figured out how to play this president. If I find him a way to make some money, whether it's home or abroad, if I find a way to feed into his ego, or if I find a way to get into one of his advisors who can put anything in front of Trump, and as long as it feeds his ego, gets him a check, and makes him, in his mind, look better, he's signing off on it. He doesn't even know what he's signing half the time. Like, it really disgusts me, and I really don't. I'm really so hurt because we spent 4 years in the White House, like trying to hold the utmost standard of ethics, and
they have none.
And any little thing would come back to haunt us. And now here,
Avis, they have none. Look at this here. Trump pardoned tax cheat after mother attended $1 million dinner. Paul Walzak's pardon application cited his mother's support for the president, including raising millions of dollars in a connection to a plot to publicize a Biden family diary. There you go. Oh, it's no problem. Guess what? Give me money. I'm good. You're done. You get to get off. This is a picture of him and his mother. Basically, her $1 million, her ticket to that dinner got him a pardon. That's what this thug does. This thug simply sells. He sells. He sells the pardons. He sells the White House. This here, you talk about this sheriff, unbelievable. And it goes, oh, yes. Look at this crap. Sheriff Scott Jenkins, his wife Patricia, and their family have been dragged through hell by a corrupt and weaponized Biden DOJ. In fact, during his trial, when Sheriff Jenkins tried to offer exculpatory evidence to support himself, the Biden judge, Robert Ballou, refused to allow it, shut him down, and then went on a tirade. So the sheriff is a victim of an overzealous Biden Department of Justice. The law does not matter. MAGA, this is what you idiots voted for. This is what y'all got.
Yeah, but the thing is, they are going to believe the narratives that are, twisted and told from their perspective. They're going to believe the lie that you just read, that this was some sort of, activist Biden Justice Department that did something unfair, and therefore what Trump is doing now is making wrong right. They're going to believe the lies. But here's the broader thing that really bothers me about this. I mean, we can't just have one political party following the rules. We can't have that. What kind of system is that, right? That is no system. And what I am seeing right now is that oftentimes you hear people making the argument, well, they need to understand that when the other party gets in power, they could do this stuff too. They're doing it because they don't believe that the Democrats have the balls to do it. And they're not seeing any evidence that they're being taken to task for doing it. So why pull back? And so they are just operating without any boundaries and without any limits and without any shame whatsoever, because that's who they are. That is their criminal essence. And I will just lastly say that he may have found the one business he cannot bankrupt. Okay, this is going to be the one business he can't bankrupt. Okay, definitely he can bankrupt this country, absolutely. But he has found a way. That he can make as much money as humanly possible while in this position without having to suffer any consequences. And that's because he is not being kept to task, put to task by anyone. He is literally acting lawlessly. And unless we are able to figure out how we can get some boundaries onto him through some other sort of cases brought to the courts, because right now the courts are the last thing. It seems like that's the last barrier between him and utter, complete 1,000% lawlessness. That's the only thing that's holding what's left of our rule of law together right now, but we all know that's strongly under attack by this administration as well.
I mean, Mustafa, listen to the sheer arrogance and the I don't know of so-called Christian House Speaker Republican Mike Johnson. Big Tapper clips or any CNN clips, but I gotta play this one.
You oversaw, as Speaker, a congressional investigation into President Biden's ties to his son Hunter's questionable business dealings to enrich him. You seem to think it was your responsibility to look into this sort of thing then.
Yeah, Jake, the big important distinction, the Biden crime family, as they were named, earned that title. Why? Because they used shell companies, fake LLCs, series of what appeared to be money laundering operations, and Hunter Biden, of course, with his difficult past and the corruption in his past, the family on the public dole, or on the president's dole. The president lied about his involvement in the business dealings, all of that. The evidence just piled up. And by the way, at the same time, time, the evidence of his diminished mental capacity, subject to your book, of course. I wish it had been published a year earlier, because everybody saw it. Everybody saw what was happening. He used the auto pen. And by the way, there's investigations right now going on in the House. Jamie Comer and the Oversight Committee will be investigating the use of the auto pen, when the president's mental capacity declined, and whether all those things are even legally valid now, given the obvious fact that he was not the one making the decisions. It's huge implications from all this, and so I think the American people had reason to doubt, and we had great reason and I think a responsibility to investigate those things. The difference, of course, is that President Trump does everything out in the open. He's not trying to hide anything. There's no shell companies or fake LLCs or fake family businesses. He's putting it out there so everybody can evaluate for themselves.
On the book, I wish the more than 200 people that talked to me and Alex Thompson, my co-author, after Election Day, I sure wish that they had talked to us a year ago. I agree with you on that. But on this matter with the crypto, shouldn't we at least just know who was at the dinner? Wouldn't you want to know that list of people?
I guess. I mean, again, I don't know anything about that dinner.
Okay.
I do know that President Trump is the most transparent president in the most transparent administration probably in history. He has nothing to hide, and he's out there trying to advance America's interests. That's what America First policies are all about, and that's what our big reconciliation bill will deliver for the people. We're really proud of the product.
Mr. Speaker, I know you have a lot of military veterans and Gold Star families in your congressional.
So that's how we let him answer that. Wow. Oh, Trump has nothing to hide. I mean, he's doing out in the open. You're right. His corrupt ass, Mustafa, is doing right on the open. But to go, I don't see a thing. I mean, Trump's not creating shell companies. Yes, he is. Michael Cohen, right there shows you how these thugs are just go, me see nothing, me hear nothing. He's Mr. Transparent.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. First, we'll start with the people who are asking the questions, the reporters, and them not doing their job when they hear falsehoods being shared and not stopping it right there.
Just straight lies.
Yeah. But, that's a part of the problem, right? You got so many folks who are shook that they won't do their jobs. When we talk about jobs, also the Speaker of the House, there have been speakers of the House in the past when they saw presidents who were not doing the right thing that were willing to speak out and to push and to utilize their power and their responsibility to do the right thing. And then, of course, as we've talked about, the grift is real in relationship to what this administration is doing. But, they're just going to continue to stack dollars as long as they are allowed to do so, because there's nobody who is pushing back. There's no accountability. So they figure, why not go ahead and do it? It is a bit troublesome when they try to equate the actions that they are doing with what's going on in relationship to the Biden administration, because, President Biden did not have a business. He was not caught up in any type of, malfeasance. But then when we flip it back to these folks, it's hard to find when they are not doing something that is unethical or criminal, possibly. Again, you got to speak out. We've got to hold all these various people accountable, whether it's the folks on Capitol Hill, it's the reporters or others, to actually stand up and do their job.
Cameron, these are thugs. They are going to, mind you, we didn't even hit the 6th month. Their whole deal is literally, they're like bank robbers. Yo, take everything. Take the money, take the desk, strip the walls, everything. They see this as a 4-year crime spree.
I agree. I will agree with the speaker in one thing. This is the most transparent president in history, most transparently criminal president in history. To the point, the grift is real. The thing that we have to do as American people, the thing we have to do as Black folks, the thing we consistently have to do, we wrote Trump a blank check to do all of this last year when the Supreme Court came out and said the president in any official act has immunity from criminal prosecution. Once we set that up, Trump, they lined up every single thing they could do. Like I said, from this Vietnam, from pay to play. Hey, you need a pardon? Come to $1 million dinner. I got you. I got you. I got you. We lined that up, and the Supreme Court lined up Trump in order to allow for this grift to happen. I think the thing that we need to now tie this to is Trump. Well, he says he may run again. Trump is not going to be president in the next 3 years. But what we do need to tie is every single thing that Trump is doing. We need to tie all these grifts, tie all these blatant and wanton acts of criminality to every governor, to every mayor, and definitely to every member of Congress in every single election. They only and always should be answering for him. Because what the speaker just showed there is that he doesn't care because he probably doesn't see that affecting him or affecting his office or his position. But when they start seeing real losses like in Virginia this year or in other states and cities at the gubernatorial level, the state legislator level, and at the congressional level, better believe Trump is going to have some pushback. But we can't go after him, but we need to go after everybody who's supporting him and putting him in power.
These people are literal just thugs. That's what they are. And the right is like, nah, we're good. We're good. No problem. We're just gonna go along with it. And hey, we see nothing. I mean, Jessica Tarloff was on Fox News and she was going off ripping these fools and like the flat out excuses. They were just sitting here just laughing like it was no big deal. Like, why is she bringing these things up? Like, I mean, watch this. I'm telling you right now, like, you cannot remotely convince me that if Obama, Biden, Harris, Clinton, Carter, LBJ, Kennedy, Truman, FDR, we can keep going. Democrat did this. Oh, stop it. Y'all just making a big deal out of this here. Fox News is literally laughing. That's why I don't trust the Lion Network. That's why they got slapped with a $787 million settlement because of over Dominion. They are liars and they support liars. Watch this.
Josh?
Tell him I loved his op-ed. And Greg mentioned a staggering level of corruption. And I just got a note that the staggering level of corruption from last night's meme coin dinner.
That's what you're focusing on, the meme coin.
No, 40% of Donald Trump's wealth has been accumulated since he became president because of 2 crypto coins. The New York Times did interviews with foreign buyers of this cryptocurrency who came over here to have dinner with him. A guy from South Korea.
This is not even part of the segment.
So what?
You're talking about a meme coin.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about who's corrupt and who is profiting off the American office.
Did he try to cover that up? I don't think so.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt said
you're defending an administration that covered up a dying leader, and you're sitting here going, but meme coin, meme coin.
I'm saying billions.
All right, let's give Paul a chance to clean it up real quick. Paul, final thoughts.
Clean on my side of the street.
All right.
Because he's robbing the bank and live streaming it. Hey, it's no big deal. He's not doing it privately. He's doing this publicly. I told you these people, they have, and I will say it again, today's Republican Party, these MAGA people, these conservative, these evangelicals, what did I tell Chris Christie? September 2021. They have no morals. They have no values. They have no principles. They have no ethics. They have no decency. They are lawless thugs. And that's what they are. They are hypocrites. And I don't want to hear them complain about anybody. They acted a fool when Obama wore a tan suit. And Donald Trump is literally raping and pillaging the country. And Fox News, conservative talk radio, digital conservative media, they're like, oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. Y'all making a big deal out of nothing. Because he's doing it in the open. And we see how the grift is happening. And they're perfectly fine with it. They all can go to hell. Folks, you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Be sure to support the work that we do. Join our fan club. If you want to contribute to our Breeding Funk fan club via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here. If you're listening, go to blackstarnetwork.com. Also, of course, send your check and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. And don't forget, when you get our swag, those proceeds come right back into the show. And so get our merchandise, including our new shirt. Hashtag, we tried to tell you, FAFO 2025, or probably 2025, cross out. Please go to RolandMartin.creator, RolandMartin.creator-spring.com, RolandMartin.creator-spring.com. And in the next hour, I have not posted this on social media. I wanted for our folks who support this show, our donors to support the show as well, to get the first look. And so you're going to see, y'all, after, my goodness, almost 3 years, our new Roro Mobile. We'll show it to you right here because y'all made it possible. I'll be right back.
Now streaming on the Black Star Network.
In France, me and Tony, and accidentally went to the Louvre, right? But I had never been, and I saw a side door. And we got off the little bus. I said, come on, Tony, let's go to the Louvre. I mean, I'm just like, let's go to the Louvre, right?
We're here.
This black girl is at the door with this white guy, black African girl. And she says, oh my gosh, Vanessa Bell Calloway. And I'm like this, you know me? And come to find out we were at the wrong door. But she said, I'm gonna let you just go in here. But I was in Paris, France. And that shocked me. She knew my name, she knew me. My movie. You know, so it's like, you just gotta, they say, build and they will come. Put it out there, people will find it, they will come.
Hey, this is Motown recording artist Kim. You are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. That boy, he always unfiltered though. I ain't never known him to be filtered. Is there another way to experience Roland Martin than to be unfiltered? Of course he's unfiltered. Would you expect anything less? Watch what happens next.
All right, folks, this entrepreneur knows all about faith, family, and flavor. Reggie Kelly may have made a name for himself on the football field, 13 seasons in the NFL, but his heart has always been in the kitchen. Born and raised in Aberdeen, Mississippi, Reggie grew up surrounded by love, lessons, and soul food. After hanging up his cleats, he and his wife took the family tradition and turned it into a booming business. Kyvan Foods, named after their kids, rooted in the recipes that brought their families together. Joining us right now is the founder of the company. Reggie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mr. Martin. How's it going, my friend?
Doing great. First off, is it Kyvan? Pronounce it, please.
It's Kyvan. Kyvan Foods.
Kyvan Foods. Kyvan. So when did you start it?
Well, we started the business in 2011. And, you know, when I was a kid, I grew up next door to my grandmother, Roland, and my family always told me, baby, when you cook, make sure you do it with love. So I've always longed to pass down to my kids, Kyla and Kyvan, and to everyone the gift that's been passed down to me, an appreciation of good food.
So what type of food do y'all have?
We have multiple categories, from salsa to barbecue sauces to seasonings, blends to jams and jelly with our honey apple butter. We also have salad dressings as well. So we try to focus on multiple categories.
Right.
And our product line just has multiple tons of different flavor options as well.
How did it come about? How did it start? Like what was the spark to say, you know what, let's do our own thing?
Well, you know, first I would like to say I've had a smooth transition rolling from football to food, or as I like to call it, from the gridiron to the cast iron. You know, when I was a player, I used to throw free football camps for the kids in my hometown of Aberdeen, Mississippi. I wanted to reward the kids who exemplified great academic excellence. So I want the kids to understand that when you work hard and when you do good, expect good, and hard work pays off. And so I threw a free football camp for the kids. I flew my teammates down to reward the kids, gave them free NFL gear, free paraphernalia, and the kids had an absolute blast. After the football camps were over, and for that matter, after any event in Mississippi, oh, you're going to have some good food. So my family and my wife's family cooked for all the volunteers. And I tell you, my teammates couldn't stop raving about our family recipes to the point. Well, one of my teammates' wife called my wife and said, you guys really need to do something with these family recipes. I had no interest in being an entrepreneur, had no interest in the food industry. As a matter of fact, around that time, my head coach, Marvin Lewis, convinced me that my next plan of action should be to be an NFL executive or either the league office in Manhattan or be in basically the front office of an NFL franchise. So that was the course of action that I wanted to take, but mulling it over and talking to my wife over and over again, we decided to become entrepreneurs and then name this business after our kids. So the word Kyvan basically comes from our kids. My daughter, her name is Kyla. My son's name is Kyvan. We combined the two to come up with Kyvan. So just like any parents, we want to leave a great legacy behind to our kids, a tangible legacy behind to our kids. We're definitely trying to do that.
What year did you open the business?
2011.
2011. So here we are now in 14 years. Greatest lesson you learned last 14 years?
Marketing. Obviously, marketing a brand is definitely the life, and is also definitely can be the death of a business. And you have to make sure that you establish great relationships. Through marketing, we do understand that some of the big brands, the Fortune 500 companies, they have the working capital, right? They also have the personnel, they have the experience, they have the marketing strategy to ensure that they're going to have longevity and sustainability within their company. But one time long ago, they were small companies as well, and they had to figure it out. And so for me, my company being a small company, we had to figure out the marketing piece. We had to find our hero product. I liken it to a franchise quarterback. We had to find the actual demographic of people to market our brand to, and then the correct content that's going to encourage consumers to take a chance on our brand. And if we do it right, which we have done it right, it equals to great ROI, customer acquisition, and a high customer retention rate.
Now, are you in stores or are you doing direct to consumer?
We do both. So the thing that I really like, the sector that I really like, or the industry that I really like, Roland, is the food service industry, where we service a lot of hotels like the Hilton, Hyatt Regency. My biggest distributors are Cisco and then also U.S. Foods. So that's the sector that I really like, shipping our bulk products to executive chefs. And then they come up with creative plans to come up with creative menu items using our products, creating masterpieces. I really enjoy that. We also focus on online and e-commerce platform. And yes, we do also do business with brick and mortar retailers.
Questions from the panel. Let's see here. Avish first.
You know, you said something about your origin story, those after camp good eating that people were having in Mississippi. So I'm just curious, because I know y'all do it right in the South. So I'm just curious, what's your favorite product that you sell? And what does your family make that you absolutely love?
You know, I get that all the time. And I would liken it to a parent, right? A lot of people ask me, as far as with my food company, what is your favorite product? What is the best product? Well, sometimes, you know, if somebody may ask a parent, who is your favorite child? Well, I'm not Deion Sanders. I'm not going to say that. Both of my kids are absolutely my favorite. So when it comes to my food line, they're my babies too. And they all are my favorite. But I will say this, our mild honey apple salsa is our hero product. That's what we started the brand with. And why don't you just take a trip with me? This product has robust tomatoes, golden honey, crisp apples, beans, garlic, and peppers. Oh my. We call it a salsa with soul because it would jazz up any meal. So our honey apple salsa is definitely our hero product. It's our franchise product, and it definitely turned heads.
Wow. It sounds amazing.
Cameron.
Pleasure to meet you. My question is, being a former athlete, being at the highest level, the discipline, the hours, the behind the scenes work that really goes for you to be able to play in the NFL for so long. What lessons and what lessons did you take from your football career that you've been able to apply to starting a business and growing it and becoming successful as an entrepreneur, especially in such a tough market like the food industry?
Yeah, very simply put, those who succeed on a consistent level, right? Those who succeed on a high level, doing it right and on an upward trajectory, they succeed because they do the small things that those who fail won't do. Success has always been wrapped around doing the small, tedious, minute things that those who fail either make excuses why they can't do it or simply too lazy to do it. One of my old teammates, Terrence Mathis, told me this when I was a rookie. He said, listen, Rook, if you do the little things right, the big things will always follow. We always want to look at the masterpiece, the big picture. But what we fail to realize, if we just do the small, minute, strenuous things that pull your hair out, as you can see, if you do those things right, the big things are going to automatically follow. So for me, with football, I learned to be extremely disciplined. I learned to do the small things right. They ended up giving me 13 seasons in the NFL. I'm in my 14th year. I'm in the food and beverage industry as well, and we follow those same guidelines. Being consistent, great customer service, doing what you say you're going to do, making sure that you are likable, which I think a lot of people miss. People do business with people that they like. So it's important to be likable, be personable. If you do that, it'll help boost your business well and take you to upper trajectory also.
Mustafa.
Well, brother, congratulations on 14 years. I got family in the SIP, so I'm curious. What makes the food in the SIP different than in Louisiana or Texas? I know Roland gonna have something to say about Texas, so I'm just curious. What makes your flavor different?
You damn right I do. Go ahead.
Well, I will say this, we always say we make everything with love. And my family, I come from a family of cooks, not from a family of chefs, and we stick our feet in the corn, calluses, and all. But here at Kyvan Foods, we specialize in innovative, in most cases, never before seen food products. And the kicker is most of our products only use clean, natural ingredients. We kettle cook our product in small batches to retain the nutrients, the quality, and the flavor. And because of those innovations, we have products like our award-winning honey apple salsa, the first ever sweet potato barbecue sauce. And we also have our grandmother-approved honey apple butter. Because of our innovation, we've been featured on some major platforms like Forbes. They gave us an award because of our innovation. Food Network, Tabitha Brown, Eat This, Not That, also Sports Illustrated. And I think that our motto says it best. One taste, oh, you'll appreciate the goodness.
Normally, the packages, what happened, Carol? Normally, I have a package to show on the set. Oh, we ain't getting in time? Okay, so, Reggie, that don't do me no good. You holding it up.
Give me the address. I got you covered, bro.
That does, so, I mean, I just want to...
Talk to me, Frat. Talk to me, Frat. There you go. And I'll make sure once we get off the show, make sure you send me a little some address, and I'll make sure.
All right, because I know trust me, I know I'm gonna get a text any moment from my daddy watching the show, yeah, I know that's gonna happen. Yeah, because you're right. See, he's a cook. My brother's executive chef. My mom does cakes, so. I catered for 23 years. My grandmother's catering business. Yes, I have a discerning palate. Yes, so we gonna have to. I'm gonna have to check out these products. And so you said, let's see, honey apple delight. Let's see here, and then gourmet barbecue sauces and rubs. So folks, if y'all go to shopblackstarnetwork.com, y'all see the products right here. Again, if I click this here, these gourmet sauces, you see there's a 4-pack there. And so certainly good luck with that. Again, we have available on shopblackstarnetwork.com. And hopefully our folks will partake. We got Juneteenth coming up. We've got holidays and summers and all kinds of different parties, cookouts, get-togethers, you name it. And so we hope folk definitely check it out. And I know Mustafa, and plus Mustafa's also an alpha brother. He's on here as well. Cameron, what little youth group you in? Didn't you join one of the other little youth groups?
No, I'm not Greek.
Okay, I was just checking. I was just making sure, because I ain't know if you one of them. I knew you won Alpha, but I wasn't sure you one of them other little youth groups. And so, of course, Avis here, a.k.a. So I don't know if Avis can cook. I ain't never heard Avis talk about cooking ever on the show. Y'all, drop the lower third, please. I've never heard Avis talk about cooking ever, Reggie.
I am looking forward to trying the honey apple salsa. Okay, that's gonna inspire me, Roland. Okay,
Avis, salsa is a dip for a chip. We talking about cooking. That ain't pouring something into a bowl. Ain't cooking, Avis.
Mess that up though. Hey, you know, it's safe. I can't mess that up. I just put it on the side.
Man, right at this moment, I'm just feeling Florida from Good Times. Damn. All right. Reggie, I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. And also, I take it Black and Old Gold have also been supportive of your company?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary, the Capital Beta chapter at Mississippi State University. The customers are always looking at.
All right, then. Well, I'm looking forward to trying the products. Good luck, 06, and keep doing well. Of course, next year you got your 15th anniversary.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan. 06, appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Again, folks, y'all, please check it out. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. We have their products on there. We have the others, of course, last week we had other folks on here. Again, these are Black-owned companies, y'all, and you see them all right here. Renegade Golf, of course, golf balls. Ezra Coffee, Batoy Sweet Treats. We're going to be talking to Nicole Ari Parker soon about her gym wrap. So this is what we created. Again, shopblackstarnetwork.com. All right, y'all, going to a break. We come back. We're going to talk about CBS's Scott Pelley drops the truth. Ooh, MAGA is in their feelings. Yeah, I can't wait to show y'all this. And also, oh my God, a Texas state rep embarrassed these fake Christians in Texas when it comes to forcing teachers to post the 10 Commandments in their classrooms. Man, wait till we show you that video as well. And, of course, Roro Mobile is here. Y'all get a first look. All I posted on social was a photo. Our supporters, the people who watch this show, people who donate to this show, your dollars made it possible for us to get our new vehicle, for us to be able to broadcast on the road, and y'all get to see it first right here on the Black Star Network.
Now streaming on the Black Star Network.
In France, me and Tony, and accidentally went to the Louvre, right? I had never been, and I saw a side door. And we got off the little bus. I said, come on, let's go to the Louvre. I mean, I'm just like, let's go to the Louvre, right?
We're here.
This black girl is at the door with this white guy, black African girl. And she says, oh my God, Vanessa Bell Calloway. And I'm like this, you know me? And come to find out we were at the wrong door. But she said, I'm gonna let you just go in here. But I was in Paris, France. And that shocked me. She knew my name, she knew me. She knew my movie. You know, so it's like, you just gotta, they say, build and they will come. Put it out there, people will find it, they will come.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
We're talking sinners, we're talking the Met Gala, we are talking about Black and Asian solidarity just in time for AAPI Heritage Month, and we're talking with our brilliant friend, Maurene Comey.
Nothing about these alliances is like necessarily natural, except for the fact that we all are people who are trying to stay safe.
Tune in only on The Other Side of Change on the Black Star Network.
Coming soon to the Black Star Network.
Let's go. Truth Talks is the fastest growing show about pop culture, and now we're exclusively on our own channel.
Go ahead, say it, man.
Attention! We're back.
We gotta stop letting this slide.
Bigger and stronger than ever.
I mean, I just have questions.
Season 2 is reloading May 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
What's up?
with new hosts.
Let me tell you what damn time it is.
And big celebrity surprises.
Kiss my behind. It's Oprah Winfrey.
Subscribe today at Truth Talks Live.
Give black people what they need, and we'll show them for you.
And don't miss out on all the upcoming viral moments.
Simulcasting weeknights at 8 p.m. on Roland Martin Unfiltered and Black Star Network and Truth Talks Live. I'll see you there.
What's up, y'all? This is Wendell Haskins, a.k.a. Win Hogan at the Original T Golf Classic. And you know I watch Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Man, CBS's Scott Pelley went off in a commencement speech at Wake Forest where he talked about what's happening in this country. And, ooh, my goodness. Little MAGA world in their feelings. Here's a portion of it.
But in this moment, this morning, our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts. The fear to speak in America. Power can rewrite history with grotesque, false narratives. They can make criminals heroes and heroes criminals. Power can change the definition of the words we use to describe reality. Diversity is now described as illegal. Equity is to be shunned. Inclusion is a dirty word. This is an old playbook, my friends. There's nothing new in this.
Well, y'all, you look at Twitter, look at this. Wake Forest graduates and their families deserve much better than the ad men choosing Scott Pelley to give a hyper-politicized, butt-hurt commencement speech. What a shit show. That douchebag was competing with Tampon Tim for most erratic, illogical, irrational speech this season. Liberals who once controlled speech and the power to censor are now upset that a majority of Americans now reject their lies and deception. 60 Minutes, Scott Pelley raged at Trump in angry, unhinged commencement address at Wake Forest as he speaks openly and freely in America. And the Gaslighting Commencement Speech of the Year award goes to Scott Pelley, whose hard-hitting investigative reporting remained deftly silent over the last 4 years while Americans across the country were suffering unspeakable horrors while the inmates ran the asylum. These people could use their platforms to affect real change for the American people, but their neoliberal Marxist ideologies will not permit them. It is very sad that CBS 60 Minutes Scott Pelley chose one of the happiest days for graduates and their families to display his undeniable case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Wake Forest University should be ashamed that it allowed this to take place. He never actually said Donald Trump's name, Mustafa, so hit dog will holler.
Right, they're just feeling guilty, right? All he did was talk about facts, and we got the receipts for everything that he talked about, and it's just amazing that we allow, these small groups of folks to try and just create all this disinformation and misinformation and just change everything out. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, when you're when you're giving the commencement speech, I've only done it a few times. It's about bringing some humor, but it is also talking about a reflection of what the world looks like and your opportunity to help it to become better. He called out the challenges that are in front, but he also, if you watch everything that he said, talk about our own personal responsibility in this moment to make change happen. If you weren't doing negative things, then you wouldn't have anything to worry about. If what he said wasn't true, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. But folks know that all he did was bring forward, the truth that we are living with in this particular moment.
They are just they're really hot and bothered, Cameron. I'm like, I'm sorry, he didn't mention your guy. Why are you in your feelings?
I mean, they stay in their feelings, and I think this goes back to some of the previous stories that when their side decides to politicize, decides to do so many different illegal things, but when we just point out, I mean, he was just pointing out facts. He's pointing out history. He's pointing out what we can all see playing out in front of us. I think the Twitterverse, the right-wing Twitterverse, is going to constantly find something up in arms, and the Trump supporters and that MAGA crowd consistently lives in an alternate reality where they don't see what's happening right in front of them. But I applaud him. I applaud him for utilizing that platform to be able to instill at least hopefully that next generation with some morals, because they're not getting it from the White House and they're not getting it from those Twitter trolls that seem to be attacking him.
Avis?
You know, absolutely. And I find it very ironic that they're talking about him politicizing a speech when I happen to remember, I'm old enough to remember when Trump was standing in front of West Point wearing a Make America Great hat. I happen to remember him just going off ad nauseum about nothing, everything from trophy wives to all sorts of other ridiculous
and didn't stick around and shake their hands like Biden
absolutely did. He had to rush back because of some crisis that ended up being him running around on his own damn golf course. Okay.
Yep.
So that's who we're talking about. And the last thing I will say super quickly is the fact that, quite frankly, their response made everything that he said, it provided an example of everything that he said in terms of how they make right wrong and wrong right, how they make up lies and just decontextualize things. Exactly what he said in his speech is actually what they proved by their off the rails reaction.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly amazing. Now, you watch News Nation, right-wing network, y'all. That's what it is, okay? And they have Leland Vittert, formerly of Fox News, on their network. Well, guess what? He had this sister, Tashidi Madia, who is a South African journalist who, let's just say, she had to gut check all the lies this fool was saying. I don't think Vitter's even been to South Africa. He damn sure ain't read nothing about South Africa. So if y'all want to see a fantastic job, now this is all following, of course, the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, coming to the White House and meeting with that idiot Trump, who then showed him some videos that was a lie, some photos that were from the Congo, and all this sort of stuff like that. And he was just straight up lying. And so she had to check Leland, and boy, this was masterful.
Welcome to the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
No, not necessarily. I was amused by the latest gimmick, for sure, but surprised not so much. I think the South African delegation, South African journalists have been talking about it. We knew the president would walk into some sort of trap. It's not surprising. The invite was there. The desire for the conversation to open up the channels between the USA and South Africa are there. South Africa's been trying, by all means, to try and open up the doors again. And so, no one was surprised.
Okay.
Did we expect the lights to be turned off and a visual illustration? No, not that far.
That is the new reality with Donald Trump. The issue here, I think, is an important one about what is actually happening in South Africa. Is it true that white farmers are being killed in South Africa?
It's an interesting way that you've asked that question. I don't think the issue is what's happening in South Africa. I think the issue is what's being peddled about what's happening in South Africa. If you watch today's engagement, let me get to the point first. If you watch that entire engagement, the recognition, the painful recognition, the startling truth of crime in South Africa, violent crime, was actually uttered by everybody there from South Africa. Is it targeted towards a specific group? Is it an ethnic cleansing? That's the question, right? Based on what's been said about South Africa the world over, at least people aligned to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. That's not a fact.
Okay, so we don't deny that there's a lot of violent crime in South Africa, right?
Across the board.
7 times the murder rate.
Across the board.
Okay, so the issue is whether or not, I guess, whites are being targeted disproportionately. Is that what you're taking issue with?
No, that would be the claim. The issue is that the claim is falsehood. White people are not being targeted, Leland. Nobody.
So when
crime is experienced by everybody, not just white people.
Was chanting, "Kill, kill! You have to kill to be part of a revolution." On and on. He was talking about killing blacks or killing whites.
Do you need the context of what that song is? Because you can't take out the context of what that is. That is actually important. It cannot be that he's giving an instruction when that's not the fact. I think we do need to take into consideration the context. What he's chanting is an anti-apartheid song that was sang by leaders in the lead up to apartheid. The back and forth today about that song is whether or not it's relevant in modern day South Africa. Should we still be singing that song? If there's a grouping in the country that feels otherwise.
How can somebody be defending singing a song that's talking about killing other people?
I'm not defending singing the song. I'm saying to you that's the conversation that's
So don't you think white farmers would be scared when they heard that song?
And that's the question that's being put to Julius Malema. I said to you that conversation is happening. It's put to Julius Malema that when you do this, this is what we worry about. But when you look at how long he's been singing the song and whether it correlates with the numbers of farmers under attack, particularly white people, it's not there. People who are being attacked on the farms are farm dwellers and farm workers. That's also a reality that's got to be.
White farmers are not being targeted or white farmers are not being killed, why are so many who have big land holdings willing to give up their entire lives to come to America?
Where are they? Show them to me.
We had them land.
Those 49 people are not farmers. There are plenty of reports from South Africa that many of those are not farmers. Those are chances. Please, again, show me the evidence. Those are people taking an opportunity. America's giving them an opportunity.
You're saying
they're not farmers.
I'm just trying to figure this out. You're saying that your president has not in any way targeted whites, even though Elon Musk, who was there, can't get a license for his business.
He was where?
In the Oval Office.
He was in the Oval Office. He's never been to South Africa. When was the last time Elon Musk was in South Africa?
But he can't get.
When was the last time he was in South Africa? His father, Elon Musk's father.
I'm not talking about when he was there.
No, hold on. I want to also make you understand one thing.
The accusation is that many whites cannot get licenses to do business, among them Elon Musk.
So we're being forced to undermine our transformative laws. We must be okay with a South Africa where the majority that is denied of their own land, where the majority is deprived of access to economic transformations and means of production. We must be okay and not move the needle in any way to try and fix that. We must be okay with South Africa being labeled the most unequal country in the world and not trying to do anything to rectify that. Because that's what that argument says.
No, but the fact of the
there are laws.
The fact of the matter is
they must be bent for an individual.
No,
that is what the question is.
But if you make laws that target a certain race, don't.
But there are none of those. Where are those, Leland? You're calling me as a journalist from South Africa, and you're putting those to me. I'm asking you for the proof. Donald Trump today, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to lecture a little bit. Donald Trump today called us in there, saying he's got proof of a genocide. South Africa's gone to the ICJ saying that they believe Israel is committing a genocide is a whole other thing. They're the same ones who support Hamas. But they put evidence on the table.
So does South Africa.
They put evidence on the table.
South Africa supports Hamas.
It's not proof of genocide.
Yes, it is.
A private monument with fake crosses and not actual grave sites is not proof of a genocide. I don't believe that I'm being called in here to defend the indefensible. Those things aren't facts.
Okay.
Donald Trump did not put facts on the table.
You say that. We obviously have the president. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
That sister, if you work on Leland Vitter's show, if you are an executive at News Nation, you should be utterly embarrassed by what you witnessed. They had no clue. These people are leaving large amounts of land. No, they're not. Well, we had them at the airport. Who are they? No facts, no nothing. That's the sheer stupidity of mainstream white media, Avis.
Well, I don't believe it's stupidity. I think it is intentional misdirection and redirection. What I find very interesting is that all of this concern about this myth of white genocide and the fact that you have a president who has basically said, if you are of color, the doors are closed. I don't care what's happening in your country. I don't care if your life is in danger. I don't care if you're facing famine, war-torn situations. You can't come here. But these unknown white folk who benefited from damn near half a century of apartheid get to come here. Sight unseen, proof not necessary. They get to come here. And what I find interesting is during apartheid, This country did not give that open door, that place of receipt in terms of allowing people to escape real murder, oppression, unlawful imprisonment. They didn't provide that to Black South Africans who were being oppressed by the white Afrikaners. And so the fact that you have News Nation doing this, which tries to prop itself up as a journalistic enterprise, tells me that it's nothing more than a propaganda engine, not too far removed from Fox News. If they didn't at least do their due diligence to determine the basic facts that was brought out in that interview.
All it was, Mustafa, was like, well, Trump said this here. I mean, that's how that idiot Scott Jennings sounded on CNN when he was like, well, farmers are being killed. And Abby Phillip goes, how many? Well, several. Name them. He couldn't. Okay. So they're just sitting here. They're like, well, I don't trust the word of the South African government. We don't trust your lying ass or Trump.
Right. Or the United Nations or our intelligence folks. There are plenty of folks, I'm sure, who have shared with them that there is no white genocide happening in South Africa. Let's say it again so everybody understands there is no genocide happening in South Africa to white folks. And because, so there's two different dynamics that are here. One, either the president has received terrible information and whoever gave it to him should be fired, or he intentionally is lying to the American people. I'll let folks decide for themselves which one of those is the dynamic. If he truly wanted to talk about South Africa, as Doc was just talking about, you would understand that through the history, whether it's the Sharpeville massacre that went on, Black folks were the ones that were being killed there, or the Soweto uprisings. It was Black folks that were being killed underneath of the apartheid government that was going on there. Or you went to the townships or other locations where there were people who were being killed, or Stephen Biko, who was killed as well. So we can go through a laundry list of massacres that have happened in South Africa underneath of an oppressive regime. So if he truly wanted to talk about the fullness of what has happened there and wanted to actually be someone who helps the healing, then he shouldn't tell things that are untrue. Or things that are just straight out lies. So I'll let folks figure out for themselves which one that they feel is going on there. But, everybody has a responsibility also, because when somebody insults your intelligence and you continue to allow them to do that day after day after day, then it also says something about the individuals who continue to receive that information and trust that information and therefore don't act on the things that actually need to happen. So I appreciate the reporter who made sure that she shared what the truth is. And she actually gave, a great example about how you don't let people pull you away from sort of the anchoring of the facts, because that's what the other individual is trying to continually do.
Cameron?
Yeah, I applaud her coming to the table with facts, but I would argue that News Nation, and they throw that word news in their title, given that they have no journalistic standards or even adherence to the truth or facts. News Nation is kind of reveling in this right now because everybody talking about it gets more eyeballs there. They have an agenda. It's very clear. I won't let people figure it out for themselves. There is no genocide happening in South Africa, and News Nation is peddling these, like I said, these falsehoods, or at least these false premises. It feels that, and how he responded and looked to pivot and go back to either the Trump talking points. Elon Musk was there, implying he was in South Africa. No, Elon Musk was in the Oval Office. I think this entire story and this entire falsehood and farce is probably just a byproduct of Elon Musk, who's a former South African or originally from South Africa, kind of looking and bringing something to Trump's attention that, with all his support, he's been focused on trying to get Trump to rectify there. But it kind of disgusted me with the News Nation report there, but I applaud that sister and I applaud her for standing on those facts and consistently not letting herself be cut off, but allowing to center that conversation in fact.
Love to claim they love Jesus, y'all. We're going to go to a quick break. We come back. Wait till I show y'all how they got owned by a Texas state representative over the 10 Commandments. They're really stupid. Back in a moment.
Coming soon to the Black Star Network.
Let's go. Truth Talks is the fastest growing show about pop culture, and now exclusively on our own channel.
Go ahead, say it, man.
Attention! We're back.
We gotta stop letting this slide.
Bigger and stronger than ever.
I mean, I just have questions.
Season 2 is reloading May 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
What's up?
With new hosts.
Let me tell you what damn time it is.
And big celebrity surprises.
Kiss my behind. It's Oprah Winfrey.
Subscribe today at Truth Talks Live.
Give black people what they need, and we'll show them for you.
And don't miss out on all the upcoming viral moments.
Simulcasting weeknights at 8 p.m. on Roland Martin Unfiltered and Black Star Network and Truth Talks Live. I'll see you there.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
We're talking sinners, we're talking the Met Gala, we are talking about Black and Asian solidarity just in time for AAPI Heritage Month, and we're talking with our brilliant friend Maurene Comey.
Nothing about these alliances is like necessarily natural, except for the fact that we all are people who are trying to stay safe.
Tune in only on The Other Side of Change on the Black Star Network.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol, we've seen shooting.
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
This is Tamala Mann.
And this is David Mann. And you're watching Roland Martin
Unfiltered.
Always count on Texas Republicans doing something stupid, y'all. So they are pushing forward a bill to force teachers to post the display donated plaques of the 10 Commandments in classrooms all across Texas. Well, got a little awkward when Representative James Tellerico questioned Representative Candy Noble about the irony of when they voted on the bill and how it relates to the Sabbath day. Watch this madness.
Does the gentlelady yield for some questions?
The lady yields for questions. The lady yields.
Thank you, Representative Noble. What is the fourth commandment?
Are you referring to my to the way it's written in the bill?
Yes.
Okay, right.
There you go. Remember the Sabbath.
Keep the Sabbath.
Being here on Saturday.
It's about us being here on Saturday. Is that ironic or what?
So what does it mean to keep the Sabbath holy?
Well, I think it's, you want to get into theology here? I'd love to, if you'd like to. I think it's really important that we take a day of rest. I think God, who founded the world, didn't need rest, and yet he took a day of rest after he did creation, and I think he was a good example to us to take a day of rest. And that is enshrined in our rules, in our Constitution, where it says accepting Sunday in our very early documents as a nation.
And so part of keeping the Sabbath holy is not working on the Sabbath?
That is, yeah.
And what is
a day of rest.
The 10 Commandments come from Judaism. What day is the Jewish Sabbath?
It is on Saturday.
And what day is it today?
It is Saturday. Here we are.
The Christian Sabbath is what day?
Sunday, in honor of the day that Jesus rose from the dead.
And we're scheduled to give this bill a final vote on what day of the week?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Would you be willing to postpone your bill so that we're not breaking the Ten Commandments by working on the Jewish or Christian Sabbath?
I love that you said that, because if we had not had your point of order the other day, we would have actually already completed that.
And so, Representative Noble, you're saying that you'd rather tell people to follow the Ten Commandments than follow it yourself?
I would have rather have had this bill passed the other day when it was time. And you know, that's really sad that we are under such a crunch in time now with the end of session. Our Texas forefathers only gave us 160 days to pass bills, and that's where we are in this session.
We as a legislature are
140,
about to force,
I'm sorry, correction.
We as a legislature are about to force every teacher in the state to post the Ten Commandments in their classrooms.
If
Do
they are
members
donated.
of the Texas legislature follow the Ten Commandments?
Is that about the bill?
Your bill is about the Ten Commandments.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
asking, do members of this legislature follow the Ten Commandments?
So again, this bill is about honoring our historical, educational, and judicial heritage with the displaying of the Ten Commandments.
The ninth commandment is, thou shalt not bear false witness. Are you aware of any legislators who have lied about anything?
That is, you know, there might be one coming up in a minute if you keep talking. We'll see.
The seventh commandment is, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yes.
Do you think that members of the legislature should focus more on trying to follow the Ten Commandments rather than telling others to follow them?
Maybe they get to have them posted.
I am, you know, it is incumbent on all of us to follow God's law, and I think that we would be better off if we did.
That's a great segue into my next question, which is, do you think our public schools are missing God?
Again, we are talking about historically what our founding fathers believed. I have a lot of quotes from our founding fathers if you want me to go there, and I would love to do that if you would like me to.
Well, you just mentioned God's law, so I was just asking if you think our public schools are missing God's law.
In some instances, yeah. I would not. I think that there's some amazing teachers out there that are showing an awful lot of Christian behavior and love and concern to their students. So I'm not going to paint that broad of a brush like you just did.
Do you think that seeing the Ten Commandments in a classroom might make a student feel closer to God?
Again, that is not the focus of this bill. The focus of this bill is to look at what is historically important to our nation, both educationally and judicially. But if you would like to look through some of those textbooks that are on my desk, you will see the foundation that our forefathers used when they learned to read and write.
In the committee hearing for this bill, you said that students should see the Ten Commandments in their classroom and remember, quote, God is watching. Is that correct?
What?
In the committee hearing for this bill, you said that students should see the Ten Commandments in their classroom and remember, quote, God is watching.
I do not recall that.
You said it in response to a question from Representative Bryant in the Public Education Committee. You don't recall that?
No, obviously you do, though. You know, that was like 4:30 in the morning.
Okay.
We were all pretty sleep deprived. I don't remember in what response that was, if indeed that was a response. I do, however, believe.
The lady's time has expired.
Boy, I bet she was really happy her time was up, Cameron.
It's funny how the right, and especially in Texas, I've got a lot of experience working in Texas, working for the late, great former Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson, how they promulgate being a Christian and Christian values, but they consistently find as many ways to go against, whether it be the Ten Commandments, the Beatitudes. Look at this bill they just passed this past week, kind of taken from the poor. It never holds up. It never holds up. They like to shape it and twist it and use it when it seems convenient. I loved the questioner and how he stayed calm, how he stayed focused, how he stayed on facts. And it was a pretty embarrassing moment for her. But I always challenge Republicans when they say they're the party that focuses on the Christian faith. Like, has your leader, has any of these leaders been breaking, whether it be the Ten Commandments or any other Christian tenets? No, Mustafa, I have a question. Like, what did you take? I'm sorry. What did you take from that? You being around so many different folks on the right and seeing so much of that happen. Like I said, she was there defending this legislation, but obviously he was able to call her to task on all the ways she wasn't following those same commandments they want on the walls.
Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, I think you hit it on the head, but the other part of it was, when you start actually unpacking the Ten Commandments, you kind of pull the air out of the room for a whole bunch of these folks. When you talk about stealing and lying and a number of other things, we see that continually from the top all the way down, that you're not living those particular sets of values. Now, everybody has the opportunity to grow and evolve, but if you want to put that forward on folks, then you should actually be living up to that. The other thing, too, is everybody remembers the second part of that talks about false idols. And we see how people continue to create these idols every day. But, we can move past sort of the theoretical, conversation and actually talk about, what the First Amendment talks about, whether it's no school-sponsored prayer or no mandatory religious instructions, or also when they're talking about no religious symbols and endorsements. So if you're talking about putting the Ten Commandments up on the wall in a public school, then, you're going against, what the law has actually said. And there are all kinds of Supreme Court cases. And, folks will be like, well, those are just woke cases. You can go all the way back to 1960 with Engel versus Vitale, or you can look at 63 when you had Arlington versus Shemp. All these cases were actually building law around, no school-sponsored prayer or banning mandatory Bible readings. All these things were making sure that there truly was a separation between church and state.
And Dr. Avis, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was about to go exactly where Mustafa left off. And where is the separation of church and state here? It makes me think just in practicalities what this would be like. Having the Ten Commandments in a classroom, how does that feel to the student in that classroom who may be Muslim, who may be Jewish, who may be agnostic, who may be atheist? Believe it or not, this is not a Christian nation. In fact, ironically, to hear the storybooks tell it, it was founded by people who were running away from religious prosecution as much as they were looking to get away from a king, right? And so to have the Republican Party in its typical hypocritical way in which they seem to live their lives in every way humanly possible is do what I say, not what I do. This is another example of it, where they are once again sitting here in real time, as was brought out through that conversation, working during the Sabbath, at a point in which they wanted to say, hey, we want to elevate the 10 Commandments that says don't work through the Sabbath. And the others, the way that questioner really teased out the other contradictions around lying, around adultery. I mean, he could have been very petty with that, but you could tell with his allusion to it and her response to it, she knew that people in that room were guilty of all the things that he was pointing out. And so once again, it's a banner and hypocrisy, but at the same time, just in terms of practically how it would show up in the lives of those teachers and of the students in those classrooms. It actually and very clearly elevates one religion over the other, which is specifically something that our Constitution prohibits.
I think the other point of this showcases, especially in a place like Texas. Oh, I'm sorry. Did we get you rolling?
Theocracy. What they want a theocracy. That's what they absolutely want. They want a theocracy. It's pure and simple. And so we'll see what's going on. So, all right, we're going to do this here. We're going to go to a quick break. And we come back, we're going to show you our new production vehicle. Of course, y'all remember what happened 3 years ago. And so we're going to tell you how we broadcast nationally, how we're going to be doing it. So that's next on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Truth Talks is the fastest growing show about pop culture, and now exclusively on our own channel.
Go ahead, say it, man.
Attention! We're back.
We gotta stop letting this slide.
Bigger and stronger than ever.
I mean, I just have questions.
Season 2 is reloading May 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
What's up?
With new hosts.
Let me tell you what damn time it is.
And big celebrity surprises.
Kiss my behind. It's Oprah Winfrey.
Subscribe today at Truth Talks Live.
Give black people what they need, and we'll show them for you.
And don't miss out on all the upcoming viral moments.
Simulcasting weeknights at 8 p.m. on Roland Martin Unfiltered and Black Star Network and Truth Talks Live.
I'll see you there.
How you doing? My name is Mark Carey, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Deep into it, like pasteurized milk without the 2%. We getting deep. You want to turn that shit off? We're doing an interview, motherfucker.
All right, folks, I am standing outside our offices at the Black Star Network, and man, we've been waiting for this day. So y'all might remember December 2020, here are the images of the sprinter we got when we were broadcasting in Atlanta. This allowed for us to be able to, when we're traveling around the country, we actually broadcast from this unit. We did marches and parades. I mean, we covered live events. We broadcast from, Georgia, North Carolina, all over. Then in July 2022, this happened. Deshaun Smith, our driver, was traveling back from Essence, and this guy was playing road games, swerved in front of our sprinter. It rolled 7 times, and it was completely totaled. Deshaun walked out of the front window. Praise the Lord that he was not seriously injured. Aches and pains and a few scratches, but that's what happened. And so for almost the last 3 years, man, we have been going back and forth trying to get a replacement vehicle. We were working with a black-owned company, encountered some major issues. I'm gonna tell you about those details. Let's just say some action is being taken right now. So I'm gonna let y'all know when that is all finalized. And so we worked with another company out of Pennsylvania, LGE Coachworks, and we did not get a sprinter this time because we knew what our needs are. They were much larger. And so this is a Ford F550 vehicle here. It is a 35-foot vehicle. And if you might remember, the sprinter that we had, it actually had a fiberglass trunk. And in talking with the folks with Mercedes and other engineers, they thought that weight may have thrown off the weight of the vehicle. And so what we did was we wanted everything to be self-contained in this vehicle. And so this is a 48 inch trunk space. Allows us to carry a significant amount of our gear when we are traveling around the country. And so again, all the different things that we need, we're going to be able to have this our gear in here as well. Again, there's a lot of stuff that we carry. People don't realize this, but there's a lot of stuff that we're able to do. And so we have this here. And so let me go ahead and close this here. And so then our cabin space is important because you got to understand in terms of how we broadcast. So for instance, when we did we were in Tulsa for the 100th anniversary of the race riot, we were broadcasting a march. And so we actually had cameras mounted on the outside of the vehicle that was connected to our setup on the inside. That's how we were able to do that. And so now with some new technology, we're able to do some different stuff with the technology. And so let's go inside so you can understand what now we are able to do. And so we've got a couple of cameras on here. I'm going to be working with another camera. We're going to have cameras installed all on the outside. So if that accident happens again, we'll be able to record exactly what happened. And so once we then, we're going to go inside the vehicle here, again, which allows us to be able so we come in, we're going to come in here. And so let's see, go that way. I'm going to close this. So I'm having this, come on. There's a button I'm actually having added, which allows us to be able to close this right here. So let me just close that and allow piercing. And so when we're in here, y'all, so I'm going to come back here, I'm going to turn the lights on. And so just so you can understand, this is a larger vehicle than what we had last time. And so the way we did it this way is that the ability for us to be able to actually do interviews from inside of here. And then when we're actually broadcasting, we could do a one-on-one interview. We could put our show logo up here in the television as well. We got a second TV right here. We can actually mount cameras on both sides of me right here. We can have a camera in front. We have also a railing up here in here as well. So obviously when the vehicle is moving, we can actually mount cameras up there as well. So you would have that particular shot. Then it also gives us the lighting is also different. So right now, you say, let's just kill that light, kill both of these lights. So no, turn your light off on top of the camera. Kill that light too. Turn it off completely. So allows us to set the mood. So this is how it looks in here, just natural lighting. And so when we kill this light right here, then all of a sudden you have this is called overhead lighting. That's what this lighting right here is. And then we have what is called, I'm gonna kill that light, called mood lighting. So you see how it allows us to be able to light all the lighting down here. Then we have what is called the next lighting here. I can kill that one. So now you see how we can now change the lighting in here to suit our needs. Then if we want to have indirect lighting, so that's the lighting basically on the outside right here. Then of course, if we really want to get creative, and then we want complete color in here, then we're able to change the lighting. So again, depending upon what we're shooting, what we're working on, we can change all of the lighting we have here. And so this is what the vehicle allows us to do. We got Bluetooth here. We can control air conditioning right here. We can control heat right here. We have lots of connections here, HDMI, USB. So what can happen is we can actually sit here and we can actually connect. You can turn the lights back on. We can actually connect different items here, allow us to be able to place on the TV as well. And so let's say there's somebody we're interviewing and they've got a music video or they've got something along those lines, then we have the ability to actually then connect in here and broadcast right there onto the television. This picks up obviously Wi-Fi. Remember in Tulsa when President Biden was speaking, they actually didn't have any camera, didn't have any monitors or audio outside, and so people were actually crowded around our vehicle watching him speak and watching him also present to the public. Obviously, we're on the road, so down here, what you got coolers down here. You got to stay right there. You got water coolers down here. Then, of course, we've got a refrigerator right here. Then we've got microwave right here. And then, listen, we're on the road. I'm not trying to stop, and so that's why what we're able to do is we've got just like got our bathroom right here as well, and so allows us again to keep it moving. A lot of times when we're broadcasting, we're sitting somewhere for 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 hours, and so it's a whole lot when you're out, and obviously when that light is on, occupied. So that's right there. So we're able to, again, do everything that we need. Seating in here is about 11. And so we have those 2 captain's chairs back here. And so one of the reasons why I had designed this way, again, we operate totally different because we have cargo as well as people. And so what happens is when we're traveling, if we don't, let's say all of a sudden we load back there. So we have our tents. We've got all kinds of stuff we carry. So we actually place our stuff. This is protecting my cowboy hat. We actually place our stuff inside of the vehicle along the seats, and then we're able to hold that stuff down. So we place stuff on the seats, both sides, on the floor as well. So when we go heavy with our gear, we'll pack all our stuff in here. We get to our destination, unload all of our stuff, and then now this becomes the passenger vehicle for us to be able to actually broadcast. And so we also, of course, have the ability to communicate partition up. So we want to sit here for partitions down right now. And we actually want to take it up. Driver up front has privacy. So again, if he's doing something, if we're back here recording something like that, we have the ability to do all of that. And so listen, I can't tell you, I'll swing over here, I can't tell you how hugely this is important this is when we're broadcasting, because a lot of times we're on the road and we're having to hit from city to city. So massive amount of cost when it comes to your luggage, when it comes to all of that sort of stuff. And so again, this is just one of the things that we do. And again, we convert this in a different way. In fact, I'm going to sit here. So to the control room, I'm going to sit here and send y'all this video. Because if you want to understand how we do this, again, we think a lot different. We think multi-use with the vehicle. We think different ways in which we are to broadcast. And so the video to the control room, y'all check group me videos uploading. So what happens is when we're broadcasting, we can actually set up card table in here. We can actually set up our equipment. We can run our cables through the emergency exit right here. So we actually mount cameras on the outside of this vehicle, or we can run cabling along all of that. So all of a sudden this becomes, in essence, broadcast central. And so what then happens is we can broadcast from inside of here. Everything's controlled in here. And then once we're done, then we simply pack it up and then put away. And then now we can travel. And so that's just sort of how we operate. Again, our donors made this possible. They created the opportunity for us to do this here. A lot of people were really upset when our vehicle got totaled. I really wish we could have caught the person who did it. But again, and yeah, let me explain to you, this is paid off. We're not leasing this. We're not financing this. And I'm very upfront with our audience. This is $276,000. We needed a much larger vehicle than the Sprinter. We wanted absolute safety. So you got the seat belts, you got all of that. And so all of that stuff is in here. Has a great sound system in here. But again, everything that we need when we hit the road, this allows for us to be able to do. And so it's pretty cool. It looks great. Got that new car smell. But again, this is really going to give us the opportunity when we travel. Because look, we got some stuff coming up. We're going to be traveling different cities, broadcasting in Virginia. We've got some shows in Atlanta. And so this really puts us in a position to really do some great things. And nobody else in black media is rolling like this here. The ability for us to be able to broadcast remotely, for us to be able to broadcast full-scale shows, but also from here is flat out incredible. Y'all might remember when we did the voting rights march. When we did the voting rights march with Reverend Barber in Austin. One of the things that we did when we were broadcasting, I'm going to drop this link in here so y'all can actually see, again, how we think and how we approach this. My man, Mark Thompson, was working with us. And y'all go ahead and roll that video. So the video you're seeing right now, Henry was live switching. Anthony was on a remote camera, like where they were giving speeches. I was flying the drone. And so pull the audio up as I'm explaining how we did that broadcast. Play it. Anthony's on the camera. You see we got that television monitor that's back there. We got a television monitor that's up here. And then we're able to have our multi-view shot. I got it. We got a multi-view shot right here. And so he was able to see up to 8 cameras. So when we were live streaming the march, we had the cameras on the back, we had the drone, and we had Anthony's camera all going through. Henry was able to switch right here the entire time, monitoring the audio feeds and going back. So you see right there, we just lost our feed right there. So I'll be right back, folks. So again, that's that video. If y'all, the link I just dropped y'all, if y'all pull that up, you'll see when we were in Austin, I was actually at the state capitol. Mark Thompson was in the vehicle. That vehicle was set up differently, but we actually had a camera that was here. Mark was sitting in the seat. He was actually broadcasting, and we were live switching from me in the state capitol, and he was in the processional, and we had the camera on the back showing that processional. And so if y'all pull that link up, y'all actually see that. And so again, it's just we try to be way more creative. We try to maximize our use for the things that we're working on, and that's why we do this here. And so it's a lot different than what other folks are doing. and I'm going to go to my panel now, this is also why we fight hard for black-owned media dollars. You know, Cameron, it was a whole bunch of these old simple Simons we're talking about, man, you got $350,000 in average, you know, from the Kamala Harris campaign. Yeah, white media also gets advertising dollars. Here's the reality. If we don't get advertising dollars from political campaigns, if we don't get it from major companies, then we can't do this. When I say the cost is real, the insurance on this vehicle alone is $20,000 a year. It costs $276,000. So people need to understand, we ain't running around here on iPhones and bicycles trying to do broadcasts. We are trying to give our people top notch. Cameron?
I applaud you, Roland. I applaud you. You know, I know what it costs, and for you to be able to be mobile, because so many people want you and look to the Black Star Network, look to Roland Martin to cover their various different events that happen in the culture. You got to be mobile. You got to move your team around. So I applaud you, my brother, to be able to see that. I can't wait to knock on the van. And now that I know you're mobile, when I'm pitching some of my clients, now you can't. I don't need any more excuses about getting some of my interviews. They can hop right in one of those captain chairs.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and again, that's really, Avis, what the thought process is. Even we were in D.C., I remember when I did MSNBC, they sent a van to my house. I stepped into the van. I did Lawrence O'Donnell's show, and then when I was done, I stepped back out, went to my crib. Well, the reality is, if something is happening, and let's say we're not ability to be able to just, because it takes us about 4 hours to set up our remote broadcast. It's our chairs and our equipment and everything. Well, we can actually equip this here. We have a portable live switcher that's actually in the briefcase. We got cameras mounted. We could send this to places in D.C. and other places and literally do interviews or do full-scale shows from just inside of here. Run guests in and out right there on the ground. So if we're broadcasting somewhere and it's raining, like it's been raining all day, hey, guess what? We're now not screwed.
That's exactly what we need. We need to be able to have our news covered by organizations that we trust, by individuals that we know will tell us the truth. And we need to be able to be wherever those things that we care about is happening. And so I'm excited to see that you've been able to replace, not just replace what you had, you've been able to upgrade yourself, right, to something even bigger, even more agile, to be able to meet the needs that you have now and the needs that you're going to have in the future. And that's something that's going to benefit not only you, it's going to benefit the entire community, all of the viewers that rely on your truth telling as they seek to get their information that impact their lives.
A lot of people were obviously shocked when our sprinter got totaled, Mustafa, and folks were contributing. And listen, you know, this show is not possible without 35,000 individual donors and the money we generate from YouTube and views and things along those lines. But this really is about putting us in a position to do more. And we covered that when the brother who was killed in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Guess what? All the people don't realize, you know, CNN was there, MSNBC, all the networks were there. So were we. We were broadcasting from there. We actually were in our sprinter. We were covering all those different. I remember that was a march. Bishop Barber, Reverend Jackson. We broadcast that. You can't do that if you don't have power. You can't do that if you don't have a central location. And so this absolutely expands our capability of being able to broadcast.
You know, my auntie, she has this quote. She says, show up where you are needed, when you are needed. That's purpose unfolding. So, you know, through those donations that people have made, you know, it has been the unfolding of being able to, you know, make these investments. And these investments are for our people. They're for our communities. They're to make sure that our stories are being told. So, you know, but it also takes vision. And, you know, you had a vision of being able to get something that would provide the opportunity for you to be in places that I've seen you in North Carolina, or showing up in all these other states when others often, you know, bypass them or think that the stories that are happening in our communities, whether it's the stories of impact or, as equally important, the stories of opportunity, and how we're changing the game in many instances are being told. So now you have that ability to make sure that those types of things are happening in real time. So congratulations to you, but also congratulations to everybody who continues to invest into the Black Star Network, because you're investing in culture, you're investing in our people, and you're investing in our future.
So again, so one of the reasons why I am so transparent with what we do with our dollars is because people need to actually see what's real. Listen, what's on Terrell's back is a LiveView unit, LU800. That is a top of the live streaming unit. Every network, every local station, they have that same one. There's not one better. If it is, we would have it. We own two of those. Those are $20,000 each. Plus, you're paying a monthly fee for the wireless coverage to be able to broadcast. And so when you talk about our studio, we're doing right now a $40,000 IT upgrade in our studio. We're doing a $70,000 lighting upgrade in our studio as well. We just signed a new 8-year lease where we're located, and guess what? That rent's going up $7,000 per month. And so expenses are real. But I say this because when people contribute, when people are sending $1, $5, $10, $25, $50. I've had some people send $100 every single month since we've launched. We had a woman in January who sent us 10 $1,000 money orders. The smallest donation we've gotten is $1. The largest donation we've gotten is $30,000. We don't have millionaires and billionaires cutting us checks. And so when y'all hear me talk about Black-owned media and what it is needed for us to be able to compete in the marketplace, for us to be able to cover events. When people always say, man, I wish we had a Black CNN, or I wish we had Black-owned media at the New York Times. Well, actually, that takes money. So when we're knocking down these barriers with Urban Edge Network and targeting these ad agencies like Group M and Publicis and Horizon and WPP and Omnicom and OMD and all these people, we're doing that because this cannot happen. We should have 5 of these. We want to be able to have crews all over the country, centrally located, to cover different things. That is what is required. Unfortunately, we're not seeing that, and we're begging somebody else to cover our story, and I don't want us to be in that position. Listen, there's an office that's been empty right next door to me. Okay, I would love to be able to hire 8 writers and put them in that office and 2 editors. Okay, but that's going to be another $2.5 to $3 million a year to pay for all of that staff. And so when y'all see us call these companies out and these ad agencies out, this right here is why we're doing it, because you can't spend $300,000 on something like this here and then still be operating every single month, paying staff and interns and stuff along those lines. And so that's why I'm very upfront about what we're doing, because all that is critical. And so I know I went over time. Truth Talks, they're already live. We're going to send y'all to them over there. But I wanted to show y'all the next phase of the Black Star Network and what we're doing. We shot a business pilot show a couple of weeks ago. We're looking at a health show. So we're really looking to expand. So by our 7th anniversary of September 4th, 2018, we don't want to look anything how we look when we actually started. And so we appreciate every single one of y'all who gave money to make us purchasing this vehicle possible. We absolutely appreciate it. Let me thank Cameron. Let me thank Avis. Let me thank Mustafa. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget, if you are not a donor to the Black Star Network, if you don't support this show, then when you say, well, why don't we have this and have that? Well, because you don't support. Listen, you get magazine subscriptions, you got Netflix subscription, you got Apple Music subscriptions, you paying Spotify every single month, you're paying for cable. This stuff is not free. I'm specifically telling y'all what this stuff costs for a reason, because you need to be aware. Staff is not free. Okay, equipment not free, light not free. Our fiber in our office costs us almost $2,500 a month. That ain't no regular Wi-Fi, y'all. You paying $39.99 at your house, and so all that matters. So if you want to join our Bring the Funk fan club, you want to give me a Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here on your screen. If you're listening, go to BlackStarNetwork.com or RolandMartinUnfiltered.com to check it out. You want to send your check and money order, make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. That's for banking purposes, but it supports the entire network. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. PayPal, R. Martin Unfiltered, Venmo, RM Unfiltered, Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Be sure to get a copy of my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America is Making White Folks Lose Their Minds. Available at bookstores nationwide, online. Get the audio version on Audible. The proceeds of that comes right back into the show. And don't forget to get our swag, shirts like this right here, the zip up that I'm wearing, other t-shirts that we have as well, hats and mugs and wall art and posters, you name it. Go to RolandMartin.creator-spring.com, RolandMartin.creator-spring.com. Guys, y'all have the graphic with ShopBlackStarNetwork.com. Support the black-owned businesses that are in our online marketplace. Go to ShopBlackStarNetwork.com for that. And don't forget to download the app Fanbase, and you want to donate as part of the raise, go to StarEngine.com/fanbase. Folks, that's it. Tomorrow we'll pay tribute to Congressman Charlie Rangel, my alpha brother. He passed away yesterday at the age of 94. We will remember him on our show tomorrow. Folks, that's it. Sending you all over to True Talks. It's airing right now on the Black Star Network. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Holla!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?